is up YouTube? It's your boy DJ Sunny B. This is going to be basically my first proper YouTube video in terms of fighting game content. I'm going to basically do my top 10 favourite fighting games of all time, from my childhood up to now. And I hope you enjoy the video. Please give a like, share it, subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be trying to put out more content when I can. Tips, whatever I can do, anything, give me a shout in the comments. Let me know what you think and let me know what you want to see from me. Obviously I'm a Sagat player, Street Fighter 5 at the moment, that's what I play mainly. I played fighting games from the age of 3 back in the 90s. So yeah, this is just going to be my rundown, my top 10 favourite all-time fighting games. There will be some honourable mentions in there as well. And this isn't IGN based, this is my personal top 10. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Peace.
Interplay presents.
Oh god, so
Clay Fighter 63 and a
started at
third.
number 10, Clay Fighter 63 and a third from the N64. Now, this game, when I played it at the time, I thought it was really good, but you know, going backwards in time is a wonderful thing. So there's only 9 characters to pick from in the start, and you have to unlock 3 as you go through the game. Now, it was very hard finding video footage of this due to how old and basically badly received this game is critically. The animations now in hindsight are terrible. There's not a lot of good things to say about this game, but what I did enjoy in this game is we're about to see one of the main characters, Frosty the Snowman.
Let's get ready to crumble.
The stupid puns. You had meters, you had stun bar, you had specials, everything a fighting game normally has, just in a very badly controlled format. But I spent hours on this game, learning all the different combos, how to find out where to get the claytalities as they were known. There's a lot of, it had a certain charm, this game, but yeah, I don't have much more to say about this game in that it's just, in hindsight, it's pretty bad. But I had a very good time with this when I was a kid. I was around 7 or 8 years old, and yeah, it brings back memories watching this kind of gameplay. But you can just see how slow and clunky it is. But when you're 7 or 8 years old, you don't really care. And look at this combo. Oh! Oh look, even got Injustice stage transitions. But yeah, that's all I've got to say about this game. Let's move on to number 9. So, Last Blade 2. In my opinion, a classic game from SNK. Because I didn't actually play too many of the King of Fighters games, but I found these games, Last Blade 1 and Last Blade 2. I mean, just look at this fire intro. So when I was like 8, 9 years old, like in arcades, and I was just like, what is this? This looks so sick. Because I was starting to get into anime at the time. It's so anime. It is so anime. But this game, probably one of my favourites from my childhood, and I just love the animations. I love the sprite work, and it's weapon based as well. As you'll see, you've got this Super Saiyan looking guy, Cade, on the left. You can actually parry and deflect attacks and encounter with your own. You have high and lows. And you can even do it during a jump, as this kindly demonstrates. And the strength and skill type, so they've called it speed and power in this. Basically, skill lets you do combo extensions, but the strength is the one that I use the most because you got really flashy, like almost like level 3s in other games. And the characters, there was such a diverse range of characters. One of my favorites is actually a guy. He's wields like a double-bladed hook blade, but we're gonna see some. I think her name's Hideki. Gameplay here against the sort of main protagonist, Cade. And he basically, and that's the thing, one thing, as a young boy, I like the fact that he looked like he's Super Saiyan. He just went blonde. I was just like, okay, is this Dragon Ball Z? You can see it's very footsie based. You have text. And it's a lot about taking your turn. Very traditional fighting game in that sense. But I love the way it looked. I love the soundtrack, the art style. And here comes a super. Ah, look at that. Look, just, oh, saucy. It's great stuff. Hajime! I spent way too much money on this game as well, but there's a lot of depth to it. There's so much you can see and things like game facts about the combos, the finishes. There's far more than I can actually go into in depth in a countdown video. And this is in no particular order, by the way, either. I'm just this is sort of my top 10 favourites, but not in a chronological order. So he's about to lose here. You do get a critical art when you're low on HP, which does an insane amount of damage. We might see it here as well from Hibiki. Here it comes. Oh! Oh, damn! That's it. He is dead. Oh! And we got a decapitation. I forgot that was in this game. And Hibiki acting like she didn't mean to do that. Okay, so let's get on to number 8, just before this next game starts.
Here we go.
Okay, so one of the classics of the Dreamcast era, in my opinion, Capcom versus SNK2. I mean, the first one was great as well, but you had the groove system. You know, I mean, I picked C Groove, like I'm showing in this video right here. Joe, Sagat, obviously. Sagat was top tier in this game. He was busted, especially with the ratio system. But this was footage I took quite a while ago. But I haven't played this game for some time now. But this game was just one of those really competitive games that I used to take around my friend's house on play on their Dreamcast or whenever they came around to mine. I loved the fact it was 3v3, so you got to pick multiple characters, you had the ratio system, so you could make one character like really, really strong. There's a lot of footsies and like really good combo extension tools, especially using the groove system. So X-Men vs Street Fighter, number 7 on the list. Sort of my introduction to the Versus series of games. You obviously got the honourable, very, very well-known Marvel vs Capcom 2, Ultimate MVC 3 for later generations. This was one of those games for me. I burnt hours on the PS1 port, which actually didn't let you do tag-ins due to the PS1's limitations. But I loved the character select screen. It had the 90s style X-Men characters from the cartoon, and it uses Street Fighter Alpha Sprites, actually another top game I used to play. But yeah, loved this game. Loved the fact you can combine supers, and it sort of laid the groundwork for a lot of other Versus series games. But yeah, one of those top games.
Street Fighter EX plus Alpha.
So, Street Fighter EX plus Alpha, probably one of the first 3D fighters I played on PS1. I love this game, I love the music, I love the characters that were made by Akira, and unfortunately we don't see these characters anymore in any Street Fighter games due to Akira still having the rights and Capcom not really. I don't know what the current situation is, but they're not on the best of terms. But anyway, I love this game. I love the gameplay. The supers were notoriously difficult to input on these games as well. The input, you get none of this negative edge or anything like you get on modern games now. But it's overall one of my favourite games of the era. Growing up, I put a lot of hours into this game, unlocking all the characters. You had Shin versions of Bison, Garuda, Akuma. Yeah, just a lot to love about this game. The quirky visuals, the music, underrated soundtrack, very underrated soundtrack. I love this game. Again, just one of those ones I put a lot of hours into and wanted to get good at. And I used to play, there's EX2 and EX3 as well, which came out on the PS2 after this. We never saw from that again afterwards, but you do have EX Fighting Layer on the modern generation. You guys should check that out if you like anything like what you see here. And some of the characters they brought in this game, some of my favourites again, like Garuda. You had Cracker Jack. There's a few others as well, Dr. Dark. And the combo trials were notoriously difficult in this game as well, but always worth checking out. So number 5 on my list, Dragon Ball Z Budokai 3. I played all the Budokai games, the Budokai Tenkaichi games. I played Burst Limit, all the rest, but this one for me stands out as the highlight of the PlayStation 2 era for me. I love the amount of characters that were in this game, because I was a proper Dragon Ball Z weeaboo back then. I love anime as well, but Dragon Ball Z was my first proper anime or shonen, however you want to call it, but I love this game. There were some mechanics that obviously haven't aged very well, like the Dragon Rush system, which, you know, basically it became a guessing game and the other character just couldn't take a turn. But I loved the stages, how close it was based on the anime. All the voice actors from the show did a lot of work in this game. There was a lot of what-if scenarios in this game as well, and this footage is taken from the HD collection of the game, and I love taking the game around to friends' houses and then doing an ultimate, and then the whole stage would change, and just everything would be just blown up. But I love the fact you can do a lot. There's a lot of depth to this gameplay, which people didn't really know about or tap into too much later on in its life cycle. You do a lot of cancels, and people could just get stuck in infinites in this game as well. But it was, for me, it was just great. It's everything what Dragon Ball Z sort of personified at the time. There was beam clashes, there was button mashing, there was timing aspects on the supers to take less damage, the transformations, smaller shows, even some stuff in Dragon Ball GT in this as well. Yeah, I loved so much about this game. And obviously I like the Tenkaichi games, but I prefer the more traditional fighting aspect of this game over the others. But yeah, probably I'd say he's definitely worthy of being in my top 10 list. And yeah, so let's move on to number 4.
Bloody Roar 2, the new breed.
Alright, number 4, Bloody Roar 2. I never played Bloody Roar 1. This is the game I remember on PlayStation 1, and I played the others on the following generations, GameCube. And I'm very sad that it died out. I don't know what happened with Hudson. I know there is some stuff that happened, but I love the idea of this game. Like, there was martial artists that could turn into like animals. Long was actually my main. You could turn into a tiger. I love the sort of Jackie Chan style of martial arts. And it was one of the games that you could do some nutty stuff in this game, and the damage was insane. But I loved the story mode. It went into how the characters coped with being different from normal human beings. And I used to love playing this game with my friends. And you could just do some crazy supers. Yeah, it's one of those games I spent a lot of time on as a kid, and I just loved the gameplay of it. The combos are crazy. You could do some crazy, nutty combos, juggles, had loads of stuff. But the games did end very quickly due to the damage. But yeah, one of my favourites of my childhood. What top 10 will be complete without this game? Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, one of the most influential 2D fighters of all time, and to a lesser extent Double Impact. Double Impact was the first version of Street Fighter 3 that I played. I didn't play the first one. Double Impact I had on Dreamcast. This I had on PlayStation 2 and Xbox 360, the Online Warrior Edition. Everything about this game was just immense. Like, it was fully refined. The characters, they added in more characters just to flesh out the roster. As everyone know how Street Fighter 3 started, it wasn't the best start, much like a game that we all know today, Street Fighter 5. But the music of this game, the gameplay, of course I have to mention Evo Moment 37. Justin Wong and Daigo, but what is not to love about this game? Like, there's just too much hype, there's too much, the parry system, the footsies, just the level of gameplay that it required. It was something else, and we didn't see again for quite a long time. But yeah, there's nothing more I need to say about this game. It speaks for itself. Street Fighter 3, what's it gonna be? Anyways, on to number 2. Let's keep it moving. I don't care what anyone says, one of the sickest intros of any game ever, and Tekken 3, I mean, what do I need to say about this game? It was so hype when I was young, this game coming out. And it was one of the games that defined an era of 3D fighting games. And it blew everyone's mind away. The graphics, how the characters looked, the combos, how the gameplay was. Probably for me, hands down, probably the best 3D fighting game of all time in terms of the impact it had, what it brought to the table. You had all the classic characters in it. You had Jin Kazama's first game, taken over from Kazuya from Tekken 1 and Tekken 2. Also good games in their own right, but Tekken 3 was fighting game essential. It's one of those games that if you didn't have this game, you weren't in the cool crowd at school. This is just one of those games. It's so much impact. I loved it to death. I played it to death. Unlocked all the character endings. Every character's arcade. Unlocked all the secret characters. Gone. Dr. Boskonovich. Everyone you could possibly play as in this game. And I loved all of it. I've got to say, doing like the 10-hit combos for the very first time when I wasn't even 10 years old. This game just had it all. I loved this game. The soundtrack was amazing. The gameplay was amazing. And the hype, when you took this round to someone's house, it was on. And sometimes it meant who got to keep this game for a couple of weeks at school. Just one of those games. Well, it had to go in at number 2. There was no way this game wasn't going to be in my top 10. But you already know what it is. Tekken 3. I don't need to say any more about this game. Where do I even begin? Street Fighter 2, my very first fighting game. My grandparents bought me this. Street Fighter 2 Hyper Fighting, specifically, on the Super Nintendo, the SNES, SNES, when I was 3 years old. So I've been throwing tiger shots since I was 3, and I'm coming up to 33. So coming up to 30 years ago, I played this game, and I played it across a lot of different versions. I even played it on floppy disk on Windows 95 at my uncle's house. Where do I even begin with this game? Probably the reason we have fighting games today, as they are, how they're played, majority of the systems, fireball, zoning, footsies, whiff punishing, anti-airs, everything you think of in a fighting game, this is basically where it started. More or less. Obviously you had Street Fighter 1, which was sort of a side-scrolling, very, very basic, bare-bones fighting game. Street Fighter 2 was where it all started, especially for me, and it's got a perfect place in my heart. And, the very first time I got to play with the king, Sagat, the main man. And, what else would this list be without Street Fighter 2 at number 1? It is just that game. So, thank you everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed this list. Sort of a very childhood nostalgia filled list. Credits go to the people that supplied footage for this video for me. And yeah, peace out until the next video. Thank you all again for watching. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Peace out. This was my top 10. Take care.